So when we talk about peer support providers, we're talking about recovery coaches and certified peer specialists in the field of addiction and recovery. I'm Flo Hilliard, and I'm the Director for Emergency Department to Recovery and Wisconsin Voices for Recovery at the Department of Family Medicine in the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
The hardest thing is seeing somebody come into the emergency room after they have just overdosed. They're angry, they don't know where they are, and they don't want help right then and there.
Waking up in the ER, you don't know how you got there or why you got there, or who these people are. My mind was foggy, nothing made sense, and most of the time there was a cop there, so I was terrified.
When one of us recovery coaches comes into the ER, it gives them a sense of hope because they see us doing what we're doing and us willing to help them. Back when I was using and trying to get clean, that wasn't available, and that would have helped tremendously. If the social worker would have came in then and asked if I wanted a recovery coach or certified peer support specialist, I think my recovery process would have been a lot easier.
They can offer support for each other and strength. They offer hope to their peers, which allows for personal growth and wellness, promotion, and recovery. These kind of peer supports have been going on with people in many other kinds of illnesses, for example, breast cancer and other kinds of long-term chronic illnesses.
I can see someone who's suffering from addiction coming at a critical moment, maybe not trusting me as a healthcare provider because they may have been mistreated by other healthcare, or misunderstood, perhaps a better word, by other healthcare providers. And so from the perspective of someone who has addiction, that peer, that coach, someone who's not going to judge them, someone who only cares about them and their recovery, is much more impactful than a stuffy doctor who's standing like with their stethoscope and their white coat. The connections the recovery coaches can make with patients is really incredible. It's more than what I can do as a provider. Through my lens as an emergency physician, having a social worker, having a recovery coach, having very close follow-up to be able to talk through medication options is critical. Because we can, again, bring this person back to life, but how do we prevent them from this happening again?
I stand shoulder to shoulder with that recovery coach and I say, hey, we're here to help you. I can treat the medical aspects. This person understands where that stuff meets practical life. They can help you through the stages that maybe I don't understand or I can't anticipate, but we're a team. The recovery coaches here that we've worked with are fantastic. They are trained up. They understand how the laws work and how they apply. They don't force themselves into a situation. They are there as a resource and a tool for the person to use. And they really just are a chaperone in a lot of ways to help guide the person from where they are to the next 1, 2, 3 steps into the recovery phase until they get their legs underneath them and they're ready to take off on their own. They really can speak with authority about the things that I really don't know.
When I go into the emergency room and someone's overdosed or they're there because they are withdrawing from a substance, I shake their hand. I let them know that I've been in their position. Sometimes I share a little bit of my story to kind of build that rapport with them and to get them to start talking to me. Because if they don't feel like they mesh well with you, they're not gonna trust you. They're not gonna follow up with you. And they might not want the help, but hearing somebody that was once in their position and looking at them now, either one, they're gonna think, we think we're better than them, which is never the case. Or two, we really care and are compassionate and empathetic to what they're going through right now, or we wouldn't be there.
If you need someone to talk to, if you need someone to be there for you, if you need someone to help you find therapy, help you find treatment, help you find a job, help you find housing, whatever it is that that person wants or needs, that's what we're there for. We're not there to tell them what to do. We're not there to make a plan for them. We're there to find out what they want and need and help them achieve that.
You'll hear a lot about what peer support and recovery coaches, certified peer specialists do and provide for people in the hospitals that they work in. But it's also important to understand some of the things that they are not responsible for or don't do. For example, giving professional advice or acting like an expert or an authority figure. They are simply a peer that has gone through some of the same experiences as the person they're working with, and therefore they have sort of a shared affinity where they can help the person to maintain recovery. To see a person as a case or a diagnosis, something a recovery coach or a certified peer specialist would never do. And they don't motivate with fear or consequences. They're totally about supporting and finding out what it is that that person needs to get into and maintain recovery. They don't prescribe, for example, one pathway to recovery. There is no one way to recovery. They are very person-centered when they work with their peer. To do tasks for the person, it's not expected that the recovery coach or the certified peer specialist is going to be giving the person rides or giving them money or any of those kinds of things that would be inappropriate. They're simply a peer.
When I had a client who came in and was thinking about relapse and how that would affect him and the people around him, I was able to get him connected to a recovery coach immediately. We have a great relationship with recovery coaches, and they really help our clients succeed in whatever it is that they need to do.
I would tell other emergency physicians that recovery coaches in our emergency department have been incredibly powerful and useful in helping patients get on their road to recovery. It's amazing to see how things have changed with recovery coaches available.
The staff in the hospitals, what I want them to know about recovery coaches and peer supports is that we're there truly to unburden you. We're here to help you. So there's sometimes these people who come into your ER over and over and over. We might be able to help slow that down or stop it. If you allow us to be part of your working environment, it might be a little bit easier of a working environment.
I'm not here to say you should stop doing that. Do you think they've heard that? I had heard it many times. And how effective do you think it was? It involves, how is this working for you, and what would you like to try differently? I'm not here to tell you, no, that's not going to work. What do you think it would look like if it worked? And how can we make that happen?
I became a recovery coach, honestly, because I believe in it. I believe in that way of thinking. I believe in that way of inspiring. I believe in that way of life. Even normal people who don't suffer from addiction do better while being inspired rather than taking a punitive approach. By inspiring someone, it allows them to find their own answers and solutions while being guided and find like true value in who they are.
I would like for emergency room personnel, everybody included, nurses, doctors, social workers, nurse practitioners, LPNs, all of them, to look at us and see that recovery works when the proper tools are used. Because the statistics are showing that. And if they utilize us, it will eventually help more and more people.
We get to see results. We get to help people, more people, at the front lines of it. There's nothing like it being in the trenches with someone who is right there at that moment where they have a choice to make of either go back and continue living the life that they are living or possibly do something different. It's very empowering and it's valuable not only to that person but to the community as well. It's uplifting.